Now, we've got to go on Gavin and Stacey, haven't we? We've got to. Now, take me back to the moment that you got the part in Gavin and Stacey.
Oh my God. Do you know what, right? I don't actually remember when I got the phone call saying that I got the part. I just remember being so depressed because I'd lost out on Dirty Dancing in the West End. And I just remember thinking, that's it, I'm done.
Over.
I've tried everything now and it's just not working anymore. I am done. And then my agent phoned me and he said, I'm just sending you a script. It's for a show. I think you'll like it. It's a Welsh girl who falls in love with a boy from Essex. Have a read, I think it's up your street. And I just remember getting the script and it said Gavin and Stacey. And it was the first time I was going for the part of a character whose name was in the title.
Yes.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh, wow, this is exciting. Opened it and it was Welsh and it was like South Wales. And I started reading and I thought, oh my God, I know this voice. This is my family. And this actually is me. I've never read anything like this before. This actually is what we are like in Wales. Where's this come from? And so I remember reading it all and it was really hard because I thought, if I do not get this, then I am furious. I am done.
Literally written for me.
Yeah. And so I went down to Leicester Square and I met Ruth, at the audition, got on really well with her and she was really lovely. And apparently I went into the audition and all I did was just talk and talk and talk. And they said...
You, Joe.
They were like,
come on.
I think we've met Stacey. But Stacey originally was supposed to be a bit harder, like Nessa. She was supposed to be a bit rougher and just a bit much more like Nessa. And I went in and played it just like me.
Yeah.
And then went back for the recall to read with Matthew Horn. Was really nervous because I was like, oh my God, it's that fella who's in Catherine Tate. He's really edgy. He's funny. He's done stand-up. He's a comedian. I'm just, some classically trained actress. I went to RADA. I'm not a stand-up. I can't do comedy. This kind of was my first ever comedy. And when I've played Stacey, I've never thought of being funny. I always play her completely straight.
Yeah, you do. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and
it's how it should be, though.
Well, yeah.
It's in the writing, isn't it? It's in the writing, your performance.
Yeah, and the situations that they're in
and that makes the
stuff.
reality of the character come out, I think.
Yeah, and so I just remember doing the recall with Matt, and beforehand, Ruth had said, that's all absolutely brilliant, but can you do a Cardiff accent, which is Nessa's accent? And I was like, oh, I don't believe this. For the one time I get to audition for something Welsh and I still can't do my own accent. So I remember thinking, not doing it. I'm just going to make up the accent on the spot. And so Cardiff is like Cardiff.
Yes, it's like down there.
Yeah, it's really it's just a lot harder. And so I went in, started reading with Matt, and I started doing it all very well. She like, oh, Gav, hello, and what are you doing, you know? And Ruth had to stop the audition and say, will you just come outside so I can have a word with you? And she went, what are you doing? Why are you talking like that? So I said, well, I'm trying to do a Cardiff accent. So she said, oh, you just sound awful. Just go back to doing it Swansea. So I went back in, read with Matt, we just clicked, and that was it then. When I left, I thought, right, something's going to be seriously wrong if I haven't got that part. And then not long after that, then I found I got the job.
Oh, thank God.
But I remember being so sort of bewildered because I thought, I'm in something. My name's, the character's name is in the title, and Alison Steadman's playing my mother-in-law and Rob Brydon is my uncle. I can't believe it.
Did you feel magic on set?
God, yeah. We started and we just all clicked straight away. We didn't have to work on building up as a family. We all just slid straight into our roles. I think it was cast so well that straight from the get-go, oh my gosh, it just worked. But yeah, we just had a brilliant time. It was really, really good.
And did you do I can imagine you do lots of corpsing on set.
Oh God, yes.
Because Rob Brydon is
if you're working with Rob Brydon and he's got something funny to do.
I love him.
I mean, he would just he'd have that glint in his eye and he'd push something extra. And also with Uncle Bryn. When he was coming in, he's wearing a vest and he's got just shaving foam down one side of his face and he just knows what to say just to make you giggle. The worst one for me though was Julia Davis because I just watched her in Nighty Night.
I'd love to meet her.
Oh God, I absolutely adore her. She is so funny.
Such a fan.
And she would always play everything on the edge. So I'd always remember the bit with Pete and Dawn, when they're renewing their vows.
Yeah.
We were all, it was just terrible, right? We were all in the room and they're standing up and I think they're doing the song Ben, aren't they? They're doing that one and Pete's got that gigantic ring. And the thing with Julia is she's always, everything she does, she's just on the verge of laughing and trying to get through that with all of us looking at each other and having to sit and just shake like that. Oh, it was just so much fun. But I remember one time, me and Matt were due on in the afternoon, and everything was just like taking such a long time. And by the end of it, we'd gone through lunch, and me and him were just running around the unit base, messing about and like a pair of blinking teenagers, causing trouble or going into the office, seeing what we could do. Because we were like, why aren't we on set? And it turned out that Alison was on set with Larry Lamb and Adrian Scarborough and then Julia. And it was the scene where she's saying that she's just watched the film Doubt and with Philip Seymour Hoffman, but she calls it Philip Dustin Hoffman, I think she calls him, right? No, and she's not saying about Doubt, she's saying about that wonderful actor who's in Patch Adams. And Alison couldn't stop laughing because she was like, Philip Seymour Hoffman, such an amazing actor, but what Pam can remember him from is Patch Adams. And it's Philip Dustin Hoffman, I think she calls him. And her and Julia were just opposite each other, couldn't get through the scene.
What, they took all day?
They just took all day. In the end, Christine Gernon, our director, was shouting at them. Everybody then eventually had to leave the room. Julia had to leave, then Chris had to leave, and Alison had to sit in there with the cameras rolling and just direct all of the lines to nobody because she couldn't look at anybody and have anybody in the room.
Massive on the naughty step.
Yeah. I was always really bad if I was with Ruth. Anything with Ruth, particularly when she was pregnant.
I mean, Nessa,
and
what a character.
And isn't it really weird, right? Something as if just like being in a different body position. I remember one scene where Nessa's lying on her back with her pregnant stomach and she's about to have a scan. And just because she's lying on her back like that, I remember standing over her in fits of giggles and Chris, the director, had to really shout at me and go, Joe Page, pull yourself together. And that just like set me off even more.
What was it like when you got the call to do the finale? What was that?
Oh gosh,
was it expected, or did anybody talk about it?
I kind of expect. No, we'd never talked about it, but the proper finale, I just kept thinking there is no way they can leave it with Nessa down on one knee going, "Will you marry me?"
Oh no, good God!
But they never told us they were going to do any more. But I always thought, I just can't imagine them leaving it like that. And so I had tonsillitis and I was running the bath and I walked out to the bathroom, walked back in, looked at my phone and it said James Corden, missed call. And I just remember looking at it and going,
there's
oh my
only
God,
one
it's
thing.
happening. It's happening.
The back phone.
Yeah, it is. It's time. And I remember phoning him back and it was like, oh, wow. But the really shocking one was the one when we'd had a 10-year break, when we did the one in 2018. Yes. I thought that that was all over. And suddenly, Ruth got in touch with me. Yeah, and that was the one I was really shocked about because, that just came out of the blue. I thought that it was all over and that we were never going to do any more. And all of a sudden, it was like, do you fancy coming back for a special? I mean, that was just, couldn't believe it.
And what's it like going back in that room again, like seeing everyone? It's so weird, isn't it? When we go back and film Madame Blackwell, I've done Mount Pleasant, a very similar sort of experience. We just had a wonderful time with these wonderful people. Mm. It feels like you're going back to your family, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's also quite scary because you think, am I going to capture that magic again? Yeah. Are we going to? And
are you going to put it all the?
Yeah, the 2018 one, and then the finale. I then had children, and I just thought, oh my gosh, what if that makes me not be able to act anymore? What if I'm not the same person? And going back for the 2018 one, I did slip straight back into it, and it was really good fun, and that was okay. But the last one, the last big finale, I was still breastfeeding my littlest one, who's 4 now. So she must have been like about 2.5.
Yeah.
So I was feeding her. I was properly, fully in mum mode, which I hadn't been, with the one before. And all I could think of was, I'm mum. And then suddenly going back, I remember we went for the read through and I got into the room and for some weird reason, it was August and I was wearing a vest and I practically had a panic attack. I was so hot, I had to be taken into the bathroom and they removed my vest because I was really hot. And I was like, I'm really nervous. What if I can't do it? What if I can't do it? And I thought, what if this baby sucked me dry? There's nothing left inside. I've got no creativity.
I'm dead inside.
Yeah. And I went back into the room and I thought, my God, Stacey's got the first line. And it was packed in there. And there was so much there was so much tension. And then Chris gave a speech and then Ruth and James said something. Ruth got teary. I started crying before we'd even started. And then they went, right, okay, let's go.
Go.
And I opened my mouth and then luckily Stacey came out. Because why the hell wouldn't she? Because I'm practically the same, I am the character. And then we got going and it was all right. And I remember reading the script and getting really excited going, oh, this is really good because, Stacey's got her glasses on and she wants to spice things up with Gav.
Yes, yeah.
And, do a bit of role play. But then when it came to actually filming that, I got really nervous because I was still in mum mode. I was like, this is really weird. I'm trying to act role play, but I'm still breastfeeding. Yeah. I don't know if I can merge the pet. Maybe that would make it good role play. Who knows?
It's amazing what we actually. I remember going back to Mount Pleasant starting Mount Pleasant when I think the boys were 5 months. They were living with me.
Oh my God.
And I remember having to get in a bath.
Yes.
Like I literally had a C-section 3 minutes before. And I remember having to get in a bath with Dan Ryan and a load of, and getting glasses out and trying to be really sexy. And you're thinking,
It's just like, oh my God, it's just, I can't.
this is mental.
I
I've got
was thinking,
twins like feeding,
Do you know, I was thinking the other day, right? I did The Masked Dancer 6 months after having my 4th cesarean.